mortgage payments and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash
This is perfect.
is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, premiering Sunday, March 22nd, only on the Weather Channel.
Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 83. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles. Friday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And Viv, foggy conditions have made for some intense situations this week.
You're right, Mark. I mean, just take a look at this. It's always quite amazing to me, actually, to see it when fog is this thick. I mean, fog is literally just a cloud on the ground. So instead of looking up to the clouds, you can actually walk through it. It's kind of eerie, but it's quite fascinating at the same time. Now, driving through it is a different story. It can be very dangerous, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, the setup for this fog has not changed much. We've been seeing this in the Ohio Valley for days. We're still seeing fog out there. Dense fog advisories are in place. There will be a foggy start to tomorrow, too. So leave that extra travel time, right? The low beam headlights, know how to turn those on so you can see that road underneath the fog. Dangerous fog will keep hanging on across so much of the country. And this is what we were dealing with this morning, right? Thursday, 4 a.m., all the way through the Ohio Valley down to the Gulf. That lifts off through the day, but it repeats as we work our way into Friday as that fog comes right back in for Friday morning, Viv. So yes, a foggy setup for the next couple mornings.
Yeah, and it has been a crucial factor in another story we're tracking for you, the crash of a military helicopter on the Florida Gulf Coast Tuesday evening. Now, we have new developments to report right now on this story.
At this time, I can report that we have located the wreckage of the UH-60 Black Hawk that was reported missing Tuesday evening. At this point, we are not hopeful for survivors, and we are transitioning our search and rescue operation to a recovery and accident safety investigation that will be led from by a team from the Army Combat Readiness Center, the Louisiana Army National Guard, and the U.S. Marine Corps Marine Special Operations Command.
Well, that word came at a news conference within the past hour. Now that searching has turned to recovery, weather remains a factor. Our own Mike Seidel shows us how from the town of Navarre at the Florida Panhandle.
Now, as you look across the sound right now, you can't see The island or Navarre Beach. Earlier we could this morning, but the visibility has dropped very quickly. Once again, the fog has rolled back in. Gives you an idea of how quickly weather conditions can change in this area. In fact, I'll take you back to yesterday afternoon. Look at the before and after photos I took, about 30 minutes apiece. The earlier photo, you could see all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, over towards Navarre Beach, the condos. That's about a 2-mile distance over to the beach. And then 30 minutes later, the visibility had dropped to 200 yards. That's exactly what we're seeing this morning. And that's going to be the problem today. We've seen one helicopter go up the shore here earlier this morning and disappeared very quickly into the fog, into the soup. This kind of weather, this fog and potential showers and even thunderstorms tomorrow is not going to help the situation. Back to you.
And this just into the Weather Channel. 2 soldiers have been recovered. Here's a look at the conditions now at the Eglin Air Force Base. And we talked about this area being the reported crash area. And again, reports of poor visibility along the Gulf Coast with visibilities down to about a half of a mile. And even right now, we talk about only 1/8 of a mile visibility with rain showers just offshore. So we will keep you updated on the conditions as, again, the recovery mission continues. Mark?
Yeah, you know, the weather is just not helping out that recovery mission. We had so much fog, now we're adding the rain. Rain not only off the Florida Panhandle, but also around the Gulf Coast. New Orleans to Houston, you are in for a soaker as we go through the week. The rain will continue to come on through. And rain will pile up on areas that have seen so much rain over the past several days, so flooding is a concern. We are tracking this heavy rain not only in the Gulf, but all the way up through the Ohio Valley. And it's because of this persistent jet stream pattern. We had that one area of low pressure right up through the Tennessee and Ohio valleys and go off the coast. Now we've got our next one in the Gulf. Some big storms bubbling up with this one. So yes, in the past 7 days, we've seen several inches of rain over this huge swath from West Virginia all the way back down to the Gulf Coast states. And that's exactly where we're going to see that rain again. It's this area of low pressure this time. Warm front already moving on shore, bringing in that moisture, bringing up the heat, and setting the stage for what could be some strong storms later today. We're seeing this rain off the coast of southeast Louisiana. We're also seeing heavy rain in central Louisiana, and then continuing into northern Louisiana, including the Shreveport area, where there's still a flash flood warning for the surrounding region because of all the rain we've seen and all the rain that's still to come. Now, we've got thunderstorms in the forecast today, maybe some damaging winds, but also some hail potential as that low moves inland later on today, and it will get pretty far north as the day goes on. So keep your guard up, that's for sure, Viv, as we've got these storms moving in. Check out the kind of the model forecast of that rain. It really moves north as we go through the day. Over to you.
All right, from the southeast to the northeast, check out these pictures. This is in Boston. Yes, you see this young man running in his shorts, a welcome sight for the Boston area. We've had a marathon of winter storms. Yesterday's high, though, was 57 degrees, and that was almost 15 degrees above average. Now, unfortunately, we're back in the 30s today ahead of another round of wintry weather for the weekend. So let's toss it over to Dr. Greg Postel to tell us more about the impending wintry weather returning.
Viv, thank you very much. Let's have a look now at the snow cover across the U.S. and ask ourselves the question, are we going to get any more? Because we're seeing the rapid, I guess, decrease in coverage of the snow. As we go back a few days, just March 6th, right here, this is a few days ago, look how far south that snowpack extended, really all the way into the deep south. But 2 days thereafter, March 8th, rapid reduction in the snowpack thanks to that March sun angle. And right now, we've only got about, I'd say 14% or so of the U.S. covered in snow. Are we going to get any more up here where there still is quite a bit in places in parts of New York State and Maine this weekend? Are we going to get more snow there? I think the answer is yes. And it's going to be coming from this system. If the MAX cooperates here, it's going to move, I promise you. Let me give it a little kick. Maybe my MAX is stuck. How about that? Well, what we've got is a system coming out of the south that is going to be moving northward into the Ohio Valley and bringing some snow to parts of New England. But the question is, how much snow is going to get? I think really the snow line is going to be basically south of the New York to Albany line. North of there, that's where the snow is. South of there, southern New England, mostly rain this time around. Mark, back to you.
Things aren't supposed to freeze. We're in the big thaw, Doc. What happened?
Still winter, Mark.
We'll work on that as we continue on through weather. Center Live. You know, the wintry conditions are giving way, right? The Northeast feeling a lot like summer. The Southwest certainly is as well. If you need a break from the winter, you can head to any of these cities. San Francisco, Phoenix, LA, Las Vegas. It's sun. It's hot. We're breaking records out west, Viv.
Yes, we are already in the 70s in each of these locations, and we're well on our way to 80s before all is said and done. Why? We have the big ridge with the jet stream punching all the way into southern Canada for the most part, and warm offshore winds, because not only do we have high pressure aloft, but high pressure at the surface. And of course, with high pressure at the surface, you get that clockwise flow. So we talk about the offshore winds really warming things up. Look at this, afternoon highs running a good 10 to 20 degrees above average. Tomorrow's highs up to 90 degrees in Los Angeles, and this is a good 20 degrees above average. Even hotter on Saturday, we're thinking, in LA. Here's a look at the forecast for Sunday, 88 degrees. Now, we do think that Saturday's high will break the record of 92 degrees. That's what we're expecting. But look at the record of 88 set back in the early 50s. And even San Diego possibly flirting with record highs. Long Beach, we think you will shatter your record high, and coming close to it even in Sacramento. So really watching the thermometers for you. And on Sunday, pretty much the same. So it's going to be a hot weekend for much of the Southwest. And speaking of the weekend, you know the marathon is taking place on Sunday in LA, and look how it's going to be heating up as we progress through the late morning, early afternoon hours. So be prepared for this heat.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Before Orion, before Atlantis, we looked to the stars and dared to dream. Stand in awe under Saturn V, the most powerful rocket ever flown. One of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Hey, what is this? What's going on?
Hal? Where have you been?
I was inside.
Yeah?
So long. It was nothing. No yard, no grill. It was just white and cold.
It was winter, buddy. Just winter.
Somebody get this man a burger! Winter's over, and new and improved Kingsford charcoal is now better than ever. LegalZoom has helped start over 1 million businesses. If you have a business idea, we have a personalized legal solution that's right for you. With easy step-by-step guidance, we're here to help you turn your dream into a reality. Start your business today with LegalZoom.
Think fixing your windshield is a big hassle? Not with SafeLight. This family needed their windshield replaced, but their daughter's heart was set on going to the zoo. So we said, if you need SafeLight to come to the zoo, we'll come to the zoo. Oh yeah, we can fix that. Only SafeLight can fix your windshield anywhere in the U.S. with our exclusive mobile glass shops and our one-of-a-kind True Seal technology for a reliable bond.
Thanks so much.
Service that fits your schedule. That's another SafeLight advantage.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
Your relationship with your dog is pure. It's innocent. It's work, but it's perfect. You wouldn't trade it for the world. So protect your dog with Trifexis. Trifexis is the monthly beef-flavored tablet that prevents heartworm disease, kills fleas, and prevents infestations, and treats and controls hook, round, and whipworm infections. Treatment with fewer than 3 monthly doses after exposure to mosquitoes may not provide complete heartworm prevention. The most common adverse reactions were vomiting, depression, and itching. Serious adverse reactions have been reported following concurrent extra-label use of ivermectin with spinosad, one of the components of Trifexis. Prior to administration, dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection. You'll take it all, the good and the bad, because that's what makes your relationship irreplaceable. Protect your dog all year long with the 3-in-1 power of Trifexis, available by prescription only. Talk to your veterinarian about how to protect every second you share together.
Eligible for Medicare, that's a good thing, but it doesn't cover everything. Only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement Insurance plans, they could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call today to request a free decision guide. With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Plus, there are no networks and virtually no referrals needed. Join the millions who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP and provided by United Healthcare Insurance Company, which has over 30 years of experience behind it. With all the good years ahead, look for the experience and commitment to go the distance with you. Call now to request your free decision guide.
My lenses have a sunset mode, and an early morning mode, and a partly sunny mode, and an outside to clear inside mode.
Transition's signature adaptive lenses now have Chromia 7 technology, making them more responsive than ever to changing light. So life can look more vivid and vibrant. Why settle for a lens with just one mode? Experience life well lit. Speak with your eye care professional to upgrade your lenses to Transition's signature.
Before 3, 2, 1, we built a gateway to the cosmos, following the steps of heroes on the Kennedy Space Center bus tour, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Hello and welcome back to Weather Center Live. We are keeping you updated, of course, on the cold and flu tracker.
Yeah, it's still really red, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like everybody got sick this year. The worst spot in the nation is the Northeast corridor, where most of the states are still at widespread.
Yeah.
That's as bad as the flu scale gets.
Oh, yes. Well, you know what? We blame a lot on the weather, but can the weather really be responsible for how you feel?
Well, we'll find out. It's this edition of Brainstorm, and Sam Champion explains that connection between the cold weather and then catching the flu.
It could be one of Mom's most prevailing myths, that if you spend too much time out in the cold, you could get sick. But don't tell Mom she's not right, and technically, she's on to something. Because cold temperatures can't actually cause sickness, but cold and dry air can greatly increase your odds of becoming infected by a virus. For dry air, studies have shown within the first hour of exposure to it, flu viruses have a rate of infection about 5 times greater than in humid air. Now take the cold. Breathing in air below 40 degrees can drop the temperature inside your nose to 91 degrees. This lower temperature allows rhinoviruses, the cause of the common cold, to maintain their protective rubbery shell, helping them remain undetected by the immune system longer. In addition, colder temperatures cause the nasal blood vessels to constrict, inhibiting the nose's localized immune system response. These cold weather reactions can delay the creation of antibodies by as much as 24 hours. And over that time, a virus in the nose will be able to replicate virtually uninhibited, producing as many as 4 million new viruses. And that's more than 10 times the daily number of births worldwide. And you've been Brainstorm. Sam Champion, The Weather Channel.
4 million new viruses, and I think I caught all of them this winter. So hopefully, now that the temperatures are warming up, we're all starting to feel a little bit better. And you know what? We can watch these warmer temperatures in your 7-day forecast. New York City, you're melting today near 45 degrees. Atlanta near 67, but watch out near the Gulf Coast. You're in the red zone today, as there will be some showers and some thunderstorms coming up from the Gulf as an area of low pressure gets organized. That'll also be the story tomorrow. Some foggy conditions in the morning, then rain overspreading the Tennessee into the Ohio Valley. Valley. The Midwest will turn soggy by the end of the day. Heavy rain at times down towards the Gulf Coast. Flooding concerns here across the east. Not much going on out west, though. In fact, it's going to be very warm. Record-breaking heat, potentially, as we head into the weekend. Look at L.A. 90 tomorrow. Saturday, 92. 92 would break the record in Los Angeles. There is some stormy weather in the west by the weekend, but it's the Pacific Northwest. The Southwest not seeing any of that. Of course, our low across the east will be exiting on Sunday. As it exits, the precipitation will be ending. But as it exits, the cold air comes back into play. So what will, as the precip ends, it could likely end as a little bit of snow for many locations, including Boston. We'll have to watch that for you. Temperatures still Sunday will be above the freezing line. Now on Monday, the Pacific Northwest gets involved again. A new storm starts to come across the northern tier. It'll kind of fizzle out as it does so, though. A fairly quiet weather map into Tuesday, and by Wednesday, that's when we turn our attention back towards the south. Another southern track storm coming into play. Warm enough that it's all rain. That's the good news. The bad news is that there's more rain right over that flood zone area. Viv, over to you.
Well, thanks, Mark. Well, it is dramatic and quite amazing to look at. We're talking about huge chunks of ice invading waterways from the Great Lakes to the Northeast. Now, up next, what's being done to free ships with millions of dollars worth of cargo that's literally frozen? Another look at the harsh realities of this winter season so far. We're so happy to bring spring in less than 9 days. As we look out in the D.C. area, fair conditions. We have some high-level cirrus clouds. That's about it.
Rainstorm brought to you by Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough.
I have a cold with terrible chest congestion. I better take something.
Theraflu Severe Cold doesn't treat chest congestion.
Really?
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Day Powder rushes relief to your worst cold symptoms plus chest congestion.
Oh, what a relief it is.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
We build weather inventions.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'll ride the highway. I'm going my way. I leave a story untold.
You just keep sending more pictures.
If you're a free-range chicken, you roam free. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
There's a light that shines within our pets. So at Petco, we handpick foods that help keep that light shining, like Purina Pro Plan Bright Mind, shown to promote mental sharpness in dogs age 7 and older. Because what we feed them matters. Petco.
Whatever their stickers say, they'll all lose suction because
their filters clog. But with our sonic tips oscillating at 5,000 Hertz, only new Dyson Kinetic Science won't lose suction.
Lily, she pretty much lives in her favorite princess dress. But once a week, I let her play sheriff so I can wash it. I use Tide to get out those week-old stains and Downy to get it fresh and soft.
You are free to go.
Tide and Downy together.
Appears Buster's been busy.
Yeah, Scott. I was just about to use the...
That's a bunch of ground-up paper, lad. Scott's Easy Seed uses the finest seed, fertilizer and natural mulch that holds water so you can grow grass anywhere. Looking good, lad.
Thanks, Scott. Easy Seed really works. So, how come Haggis is so well-behaved?
Because he's a Scotty. Oh. Get Scott's Easy Seed. It's guaranteed. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
After John Huntsman was diagnosed with cancer, he founded Huntsman Cancer Institute.
To fight cancer in new and different ways.
Like combining 300 years of family histories with health records to treat, predict, and in many cases, prevent cancer. With the vital understanding that cancer moves fast.
And we have to move faster.
To learn more or support the cause, go to huntsmancancer.org.
When it comes to Medicare, everyone talks about what happens when you turn 65. But really, it's what you do before that counts. See, Medicare doesn't cover everything, only about 80% of Part B medical costs. The rest is on you.
Consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement Insurance plans, it could really save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. So call now and request this free decision guide. Discover how an AARP Medicare Supplement plan could go long for you.
You want to choose your doctors. Avoid networks. What about referrals?
All plans like these let you visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients, with no networks and virtually no referrals needed. So call now, request your free guide, and explore the range of AARP Medicare Supplement plans.
65 may get all the attention. But now is a good time to start thinking about how you want things to be.
Go long.
Rest of in March too, looking into the official start of spring, and if you go into say the last half of March, there are some signs that it's going to get colder again in the east. We're kind of in this thaw period, certainly in the central part of the country, but the 8 to 14 day forecast, which really goes to the end of March, does suggest that it is more likely to be below average in this region than not, and more likely to be above average than not here. Doesn't say by how much. It just says that's the way the I guess turntable is spinning. Kind of the odds are that way. We have the cold in the east and the warm. We've seen that a lot this winter.
Yeah, it's definitely verifying today even over the southwest, right on into the weekend with temperatures well above average.
Right. So the question you have to ask yourself is, okay, where is this believable? Where is this kind of signal coming from? And if you look at the models, if you just straight play out your 8-day forecast from, the GFS or Euro, pick your favorite model, going through next week, they do start to show some cold air in particular come into the northeast about like that. You see those purples and whites in there? That's another cold batch of air trying to get back in to the eastern, I would say, third of the country. Now, I think part of that has to do with the behavior of the tropical thunderstorm activity in the Pacific. Not all of it, but perhaps some of it. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of airflow coming in from the Pacific that is relatively warm for now. We got that wind coming in like that. And that is related to where this thunderstorm activity is right now. Because if you look at the upper level wind flow right around all that enhanced thunderstorm activity, it's trying to draw a wind pattern around like that, which is giving us a relatively mild west wind into the U.S. So the question is, if this packet of thunderstorms, this envelope of heating, really, it's an upper level ridge of high pressure that is developing over this very large area of thunderstorm activity, if that moves around the tropics, is it also going to move our weather pattern that we have now?
I love it when we show the global shot and we pick out, identify different systems over a different part of the world, because it really does show how we are really together in weather. And I like to say that because I think that we are when you look around the globe.
Absolutely right, Vivian. And that thunderstorm, as it moves along in that general direction, those thunderstorm clusters, they're going to try to be driving a little bit of a trough out in the Pacific and a ridge over the U.S. and a trough in the east. So that would be what it is trying to do all by itself. Of course, Mother Nature has many other tricks up its sleeve and will try to, maybe do some other things as well. But there is some signal coming from those thunderstorms in the tropical Pacific that will try to bring colder air into the east, kind of like that forecast that we saw from the Climate Prediction Center. So maybe that's where some of it's coming from.
All right. Well, we will keep it together, of course, all the little nuances, and we'll keep you updated on the forecast. Thanks very much, Dr. Postel.
Sure.
Back to you, Mark.
And there's been a lot of cold in the east and a lot of ice because of it on the Great Lakes. So the Coast Guard cutters have been clearing paths and freeing ships that have been stuck all winter. Some of those ships carrying millions of dollars worth of cargo. WPBN's Michael Gordon has more on that ice-breaking operation. Let's listen in.
Freighter crews were happy to see the cutter Mackinac arrive in Sturgeon Bay Tuesday. After its arrival, the cutter began executing a turning basin in open water just past the freighters.
So what we'll do is we'll do a large circle, and then we'll pretty much make an X pattern and pretty much go through kind of like a pizza cutter and break up all the ice inside of that circle, which what it does is it frees up a large enough area for these guys to transit down and make a big circle and end up heading back out to the lake.
A second cutter joined in the operation, helping to disperse the densely packed plate ice. But it was the unique power of the Mackinac's engine that did most of the work.
The propulsion plant that we have allows us to be extremely maneuverable. We can turn them 360 degrees and direct the propeller wash, which turns the ship. It allows us to turn within our own ship links, allowing us to make nice tight turns for the turning basin.
For the Mackinac's crew, the success of the operation and the freeing of the freighters is its own reward.
It does feel good that we're out here doing our part. It always feels good when us being the Coast Guard, we're a life-saving and a helping organization, so we're out here helping make money for the economy, and it does feel good to make the economy better.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Coming up on Weather Center Live, the fog. It's once again enveloped the eastern U.S. It can be extremely dangerous. In fact, this thick fog is making it not only difficult for drivers, but how about those crews that are involved in the recovery mission in Florida as the investigation into the Black Hawk crash continues?
Meanwhile, out of the fog, but into the storms. Rounds of rain could make way for rounds of severe weather as we go deeper into the afternoon. We're tracking it and timing it all for you.
And when you leave home, you expect to come back to your property the same way you left it. Well, one homeowner has a very different story to tell, all because of flooding as a result of the big thaw taking place across the country. We're going to let him tell you what happened in his own words coming up. It's our coverage, and it all continues right here, right now on Weather Center Live. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us and continuing to stick with us here on this Thursday. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Vivian Brown. Mark, a lot to show and tell this afternoon. Let's get right to it because flooding is a big concern right now in Shreveport, Louisiana. Now, according to police there, the flood water started to rise so quickly that nearly a dozen drivers got stalled out and couldn't move.
Yeah, the fire department had to be called in to get some of those drivers to safety. I mean, look at the water. The streets turned into rivers here. So much rain in the Shreveport area, 3 to 5 inches over the past couple of days, and then a burst of rain this morning was just too much for the ground to take. So the flooding started because of that rain moving on through. There's more rain moving in now, and it's not the only travel issue we've seen. How about the fog? Like this thick fog that blanketed Indianapolis yesterday morning. You could barely see the ground from the top of the Chase Tower. And visibility at times was near zero yesterday across much of central Indiana. And Viv, that fog is still a travel trouble issue today.
Oh, yes, it is. And we do believe that tomorrow will be the same setup because we have moisture flowing in on top of relatively cool conditions that we have over the southeast. So that setup is very conducive for foggy conditions. Check it out now. Earlier this morning, we did have reduced visibility. Look at Tallahassee down to 1/4 of a mile this morning and even down to 1/2 of a mile in the Lafayette, Indiana area. So definitely talk about some reduced visibility. Now, as we progress deeper into the afternoon hours, of course, the fog will burn off when you get that afternoon heating, and then the rain will push in. But tomorrow morning, the setup will be repeated as we anticipate more fog to be widespread. Back to you, Mark.
Well, Viv, as the fog eased along Florida's Gulf Coast this morning, the push resumed to learn more about the crash of a military helicopter Tuesday night. And earlier today, there was a major development.
At this time, I can report that we have located the wreckage of the UH-60 Black Hawk that was reported missing Tuesday evening. At this point, we are not hopeful for survivors.
Officials have now confirmed at least 2 deaths due to that crash. Both were soldiers with the Louisiana National Guard. Their bodies have been recovered. Of course, weather's still a major concern as families and friends in the military community try to come to terms with what has happened. NBC's Jay Gray has more on the investigation effort, weather's impact, and the ways that the area is coming together in the wake of the crash.
It was just a shock to hear it.
Just devastating. You don't have words for it. Just think of the families involved with this. It's hard on them.
7 of the men on board were part of a Marine Special Forces group out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. The helicopter and its 4 Army crew members were part of the Louisiana National Guard, a military community also now suffering. President Obama called commanders at both bases to express his condolences to the families, service members, and the community of the 11 presumed dead. A community now preparing for the worst after news of the tragic accident.
You don't know if it's somebody you know. Your heart goes out to them. This is a big military community. Everybody pulls together.
Pulling together to mourn those lost and support the families they left behind. Jay Gray, NBC News, Navarre, Florida.
Thanks, Jay. And of course, this is the area that the crash happened, right near Navarre, Florida. Eglin Air Force Base, not too far away. You can see that kind of on the top of your screen. It's still foggy across the area right now. And although that fog is lifting a little bit, the visibility is coming up. The rain is also moving in. So it's pick your weather hassle of the moment for that recovery effort along the Gulf Coast. Thunderstorm threat continues through the rest of the day. Viv.
Well, speaking of the Gulf Coast, the western Gulf coastal areas around Houston, we have a wet time ahead. It's raining right now, and there's a river flood warning for the West Fork of the San Jacinto River near Porter. This warning will go in effect until Monday of next week. So we will watch for rounds and rounds of rain to feed into the southeast coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, the steering current here, the jet stream, the upper levels of the atmosphere pulling all of that moisture in from the Gulf. Check out the last several days. We've had heavy along the coast of Texas, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, but some pockets near Houston over 5 inches have already been reported. So you get the idea. The grounds are very saturated, and that could lead to the flooding, and that's why those warnings have already been issued. Know where you live, to any flood-prone area, around any body of water. Just watch for those waters. They will certainly begin to rise as heavy amounts of rain will be coming in. Not only are we talking about the steady rain, but also pockets of severe storms. And when we talk about severe weather this time, we're primarily talking about maybe some hailstones and gusty winds and dangerous lightning strikes. Nonetheless, we'll be watching the radar all over the southeast as we go deeper into the afternoon hours and tomorrow. Now, here's a look at the current radar, and we have individual pockets of heavier rain and storms off the coast here, southeastern Louisiana, but this one right here, just west of New Orleans and west of the Baton Rouge area, area. We're talking about a pocket of heavier rain, and even across the southwestern parts of Arkansas. Zooming in a little bit closer near the Baton Rouge area, getting heavy rain right now. And to get another pocket a little farther north here over the southwestern parts of Arkansas, just to south and west of the Little Rock area. As we put the computer models into future mode, we're talking about that rain just feeding in across this region. So we'll be here, of course, monitoring it. Mark?
And Viv, that rain hasn't moved to the eastern side of the Gulf yet. You could do some spring breaking in Miami, where it's 83 degrees right now. So spring breakers are flocking to the area, that's for sure. Over the next several days, we're going to stay in the low to mid 80s right on through. Even the weekend looks great too. Watch out for the rain coming in by Monday.
Imagine yourself exploring the mysteries of Machu Picchu, dining at the Eiffel Tower, or staying at the Fairmont Lake Louise in the Canadian Rockies. Across all 7 continents, Colette's guided tours take you places others only dream about.
I love Colette because they arrange everything for me. All I have to do is sit back and enjoy.
Marvel at iconic landmarks. Savor delicious meals. Come to know new cultures and make new friends. Along the way, enjoy immersive itineraries featuring experiences you can only find with Colette. Whether you're in the America West, discovering New Zealand, or walking on the Great Wall, you'll be traveling with one of our professional tour managers. All you have to do is embrace the adventure. To order your free brochure, call 855-714-8687. Experience the best in guided travel. 855-714-8687.
When it comes to your credit, In the Know is the place to be. TransUnion.com makes it easy. We give you 24/7 access. You get instant credit alerts to keep you in sync. You can even lock and unlock your TransUnion credit report from your phone. And all that information feels pretty good. Come to TransUnion.com and get in the know.
Hello, America, and good morning. Temperatures this weekend will reach into the 70s.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This Sunday, extreme weather of biblical proportions.
The gates of hell are opening up, and this is the entry to it.
Top 10 Bible weather, Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
Heartburn.
Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we have been following Boston, right? It was a record, almost a record-setting winter thus far with regards to snowfall, but now we've warmed up. It's sunny right now.
Yeah, it's sunny, but it's still a little cold, Mark.
Sure.
I mean, and the winds making it feel like it's only in the 20s.
Right, so warm enough to get some melting going on.
Yeah.
People are celebrating that after the winter you've gone through. But are we done with this? There's another potential storm system on the way in.
All right, and we have exactly the person that can answer that question, our own Dr. Postel.
No pressure, Doc.
No pressure, exactly. Just tell the truth.
I'll do my best. You know what? Are we going to add to the snowpack in New England this weekend? Probably, and it depends where you are in New England. I think northern New England, yes. Southern New England, no. But you also have to talk about how much snowpack will be left when we do get that wintry weather in the Northeast, because it's been moving away. It's been eroding very quickly over the last few days. Let's look at March 6th. Look how much snow is on the ground over the U.S. 51+% covered in snow. Just 2 days after that, March 8th, just not that long ago, just a few days ago, still 30%. And then check this out, yesterday, 16%. So we've seen a lot of warm air move in across the country. The March sun angle has done an absolute number on the snowpack. But still, we've got 14% covered nationally and still quite a bit over central and northern New England, especially in Maine, where more than a foot of snow remains in many spots. A lot more than a foot with that. We are going to get a weather system coming into the Northeast that's actually right here, right now, over the southern part of the U.S. It's actually a pretty mild system. It's bringing in a lot of relatively warm tropical air out of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going this way. So right now, it's an all-rain maker, and I think even as it gets into the Ohio Valley, we will see a lot of rain with it this weekend. That warm front is going to be lifting northward. It's going to go that way, and likely keep southern New England all rain through the weekend. Northern New England, a different story. So let's go through it. That's what Saturday looks like. This is what Saturday night looks like. And Sunday, even as far south as Boston, I think you'll be at most wintry, a mixture of rain and snow, though I think the heaviest accumulating snow will remain largely to the north of there, Boston and Albany, over in northern New England, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Mark and Viv, back to you.
So thanks, Doc. You know, a lot of people thinking that the snow is a problem, but the thaw is creating problems too. And the latest victims of that big thaw are people living in a senior housing facility in Yonkers, New York.
And WNBC's Gus Rosendale shows us how a mudslide forced residents from their homes and how they're coping.
The American Red Cross in the city of Yonkers scrambling to help these 60 senior citizens forced from their homes. A temporary shelter set up here on North Broadway.
It's an elderly population, so we've had our Red Cross volunteer nurses here making sure that they had their medication, they've had a warm meal, and we're assessing what the next steps are going to be.
Trees been falling. Now it ain't no trees and everything came down.
Will Johnson has called this evacuated complex home for 15 years. A mudslide left about 150 people without a place to stay because of concerns this senior housing facility on Walsh Road may not be safe. Temporary shoring now in place in the lobby as a precaution.
My concerns right now is where am I going to live after this? Is the building going to be safe enough for us to live in?
Most here are staying with family, but the others are at that shelter as city officials inspect the ground and nearby buildings.
We found an approximately 75-foot by 25-foot high section of wall collapsed in the vicinity of the rear of the building.
How did it happen? Officials say a combination of man-made problems along with Mother Nature. A leaking 1-inch pipe and the pre-spring thaw are both considered contributing factors.
And all of a sudden you see the stuff going sliding down and a big rock.
All right, 8 days and counting, and we can officially say hello, spring.
Yeah, Panama City, one of those spring break locations. The beach is filling in, but there's clouds nearby. Then showers and storms will enter the picture today as well.
This program brought to you by Yamaha.
Viking and introducing the all-new Viking 6. The hardest working, most off-road capable side-by-sides in America. Built for the hardest working people on Earth. You.
We're here today asking kids what their favorite vegetable is.
Kids?
Now we're going to give those same kids Bush's baked beans.
That's good.
And finally, we're going to tell them that Bush's baked beans are actually a vegetable.
Ixnay on the vegetable bay.
Oh, right. Bush's secret family recipe gives them a delicious flavor, so they're a vegetable that kids actually like.
Bush's baked beans, the vegetable that kids love.
Sometimes, bigger is better. But other times, bigger just gets in the way. At Brother, we know the biggest printer isn't always the best fit for every office. So we've come up with a bigger idea. Don't supersize, optimize. See how we can help you put the right printers in all the right places and help reduce your costs. Now that's big. Brother, at your side. Learn more at don'tsupersizeoptimize.com.
Hello, America, and good morning. Temperatures this weekend will reach into the 70s.
Vault 39 Wine Cellar. Discover the world's most extraordinary wines by the glass. Relax in the chic atmosphere of our lounge or in our outdoor courtyard. Savor a selection of light appetizers, specialty beers, and champagnes. Receive personalized assistance for wine selections and wine retail purchases. Stop by and experience Palm Beach's most unique wine bar and wine retail store.
With so many great shows on these days, you need a DVR that can catch them all. How many shows can you DVR at one time?
I can only DVR one at a time.
It'll act like it's recording, but one of us got kicked out.
There isn't any fighting, but there is conflict. With Xfinity, you can record 4 shows at once and watch a 5th live.
That's really cool.
There's no conflict, so you're never going to miss a show.
Say so long to recording conflicts. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play from Comcast and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com today.
This Sunday, extreme weather of biblical proportions.
The gates of hell are opening up, and this is the entry to it.
Top 10 Bible weather, Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Farmers. At Farmers, the more you know, the better you can plan. Get smarter at farmers.com.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hope you're one of those people that's only happy when it rains, because the rain across the eastern U.S. is coming, and it's going to be a hard time to get rid of it. We're looking at New Orleans, clouds increasing. Memphis, cloudy there too. Houston, you're already in the rain, right? You can see the rain on the lens there. And this is not only coming with some steady rain, but with some active weather, maybe even some severe weather as well. This is the thunderstorm forecast today. Area of low pressure getting organized in the northern Gulf Coast area. It's moving inland, and wherever that low goes, wherever that warm front kind of follows, you've got that chance for severe weather today. Gusty winds, maybe some hail, not out of the question. So that's the area that we're watching for the chance for strong storms. Here's our low right now, and this is the fuel, right? Look at these temperatures really starting to go on the increase. From Lake Charles to Jackson to Biloxi, you're in the 70s. Dew points are increasing, the amount of moisture in the air. We're just priming the atmosphere. We're getting things ready for some storms as we go through the day. Lightning has been increasing from northern Louisiana into southern Arkansas. Lightning has been prolific off the coast, and now that our storm system's getting a little bit closer in, that potential will continue as well. Heavy rain here along the I-10 corridor, not too far from Baton Rouge. We're also watching extreme southeast Louisiana. The zoomed in view gives you that rain. It's not really all the way to Baton Rouge, just some lighter showers, but if you're traveling west on I-10, you run right into that heavy rain. And then same thing in New Orleans, not much going on there. Anywhere south and east from there, however, the rain is really coming on down. Here's northern Louisiana, here's Arkansas. That kind of bands of showers and thunderstorm activity continues to roll on through. And as we go through the day, that only continues, right? Heavy rain will eventually get into New Orleans and then Mobile Bay. So a flood potential here because we've seen so much rain as of late, and we have days of showers and storms still to come. So that's what we're watching here with our area of low pressure just off the coast. How much rain we talking? Well, several inches still to fall. Again, saturated grounds here. So you add 2 to 3 inches, maybe even 3 to 5 inches of rain, you could have some flooding issues. And that's something we're going to watch for the rest of the day and really all the way into the weekend. With regards to New Orleans and really the surrounding area in southern Louisiana, and then all the way up through the southern Midwest, you've got a flooding chance, and flood watches are up. Viv.
All right, Mark, you know what? It is one thing if heavy rain sends water rushing into your home, but on Long Island, something else turned a home's basement into a swimming pool. WNBC's Checky Beckford shows us what flooded these homes and the emotional way some families discovered what was really happening.
Much of that water came flooding into Michael Harding's basement.
The force of it was the real scary part of it, just the magnitude of actually just flowing, and it was just ricocheting off the house. It shattered windows, the water.
Harding arrived home Wednesday after a panicked call from his kids.
But then my son called me and he said, Dad, you have to get home. We're flooding the house. Something's happening.
He never imagined he'd find a lake on his street, in his backyard, and in his basement.
The basement's had approximately 3 to 4 feet of water in there.
What caused the flooding? Not a body of water, but melting snow piled along a sod farm behind properties here on Sherwood Drive.
They just keep burning it up, and we have a huge sod farm over here, and there's nowhere for the water to go except to us, I guess the lowest point.
The spring thaw caused so much damage, Harding's house and another house on the block were condemned. Andre Blunt was lucky. He only had about an inch of water in his basement.
I would never think that something like this would happen.
And fire officials say it could happen again with more rain and warm temperatures in the forecast.
Had that not been covered?
Harding, meanwhile, is packing up, looking for a new place for his family to stay until they can go home again.
We're going to have to go to a hotel right now.
All right, as we look at the forecast for Orlando, Florida, looking good. I mean, we talk about partly sunny conditions every day, right on through the weekend. Temperatures remaining pretty consistent in the mid-80s.
You know, spring is on the way. It feels that way in Orlando with the temps in the mid-80s and maybe some rain by Monday. But, you know, you're getting ready across the country. The big thaw continues. It's feeling like spring. We'll talk about the impacts next.
Occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
At Kellogg's, we believe breakfast helps fuel a child's potential. Yet 1 in 5 kids go without it. That's why for years we've provided millions of breakfasts to those who may need it. And now, when you buy a specially marked box of Kellogg's cereals, you're helping give a breakfast to a child. Because a bowl full of potential is one of the things they need to help reach theirs. Kellogg's. See you at breakfast.
All cars are racing against time. Some are just doing better than others. Right now, buy 3 Firestone Destination LE2 or Affinity Touring tires and get one free at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bet.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, premiering Sunday, March 22nd, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 73. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 82. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And Viv, fog. Fog is still in the spotlight today in tense situations because of very dense fog out there.
Yeah, and I tell you what, just take a look at this. I'm always just so amazed to see fog this thick, okay? It's really like having a cloud on the ground, and instead of looking up at the clouds, you can actually walk through it. It's kind of eerie, but it's quite amazing and kind of fascinating at the same time. Now, driving through it is a different story. It can be very dangerous, right, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely, Viv. Really low visibility is setting the stage for dangerous travel conditions. You started your day with that today. You're going to have fog again tomorrow and over a really wide area, too. So let's talk about how this dangerous fog is still hanging out around out there, because look at what you started with today. Around Columbus, a quarter-mile visibility. Lafayette, about a half-mile visibility. And then all the way down to the Gulf Coast, you had lower visibilities this morning. As we go through the day today, the sunshine warms things up. That fog lifts off. You'll get rid of that low cloudiness. Visibility goes up to full by this afternoon. But then the same pattern comes back into play again tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, look for many of the same areas to have some low visibility. Again, low beams on your car. You're going to need those. Take those precautions. Leave yourself some extra time and distance on the roads. Viv.
All right. Well, dense fog advisories remain in effect, as Mark mentioned. And fog has been a crucial factor in another story that we've been tracking for you. You know, the crash of the military helicopter on the Florida Gulf Coast Tuesday evening. And we have new developments to report to you on that story.
At this time, I can report that we have located the wreckage of the UH-60 Black Hawk that was reported missing Tuesday evening. At this point, we are not hopeful for survivors, and we are transitioning our search and rescue operation to a recovery and accident safety investigation from by a team from the Army Combat Readiness Center, the Louisiana Army National Guard, and the U.S. Marine Corps Marine Special Operations Command.
Well, unfortunately, officials are now confirming 2 deaths from the crash. Both were soldiers with the Louisiana National Guard. Now that searching has turned to recovery, weather remains a factor. And our own Mike Seidel shows us how